Hello, Jean-François Mestat from IFPRI and University of Leuven. I have a question to Lamis. So thank you very much for the presentation. From what I know, in this kind of program, what seems to be key as a factor of success is the involvement of local authorities or the sense of ownership to be able to target the beneficiaries. So I was wondering from your qualitative analysis whether you have a sense of the involvement of local leaders and their ability, because sometimes it conflicts a bit with clan-based culture. So I was wondering whether you can tell us what have been done, what could be done, what could be improved. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe before you answer, Dr. Lamis, we can take other questions and then we will address them collectively. Please.
Yeah, my name is Mweshi Mukanga. I'm coming from Zambia. I was just interested in the issue pertaining to labor for cash. I know back in Zambia we also had something similar where we had this donor who came in and then people were working on the roads and they were given money, and when the donor went, the whole thing collapsed. So the aspect of sustainability, is it already included in the overall project design? The other one is, you talked about malnutrition. So I was wondering, why don't you talk to the warlords? Because, I mean, these are the people who are involved in all these conflicts. They need to start realizing that as long as they perpetuate, continue with destabilizing the communities, they're not only affecting the peace in the country, they're also affecting the future generation, because these children will be brought up malnourished, and they will be not able to function properly. Then there was an issue pertaining to water scarcity. Yemen is next to the water. There isn't any initiative concerning desalination, yes. Maybe some kind of developmental project can be initiated in that direction. Thank you.
We have another gentleman here.
This is a question for, Andrew Lanyon from Somalia Resilience Program. Question for Mr. Adam. I'm interested in how long it took you to create that geospatial analysis, like the amount of time and effort it actually took to create that. And then secondly, why wasn't vegetation coverage a consideration? Or maybe it was, it just wasn't reflected.
Okay, maybe we can take a few moments so we can answer those questions. Lamis, over to you.
Yeah. Yes, it's on. The two questions I have is one of the involvement of local authorities to improve targeting, if I understand it correctly, and the other one is about sustainability of the Cash for Work program. For the targeting, we rely on a set of data generated. We have I think Social Fund for Development is the best place to find a lot of data that were generated by the Central Statistic Organization, but we use it extensively. We manipulated the data to serve our purposes, to go to the lowest administrative unit, which is the village. So we have this set of data, and we created this proxy indicator at the village level. And we have a set of for 6 indicators, and we classified the villages in the country. We have in Yemen about 39,000 villages, and we classify them into group 1, 2, 3, and 4. And group 4 are the most impoverished villages, and we target in this program the most impoverished villages. But also we consult with the local authorities. They are part of the consultation process. Unlike the Ethiopian productive safety net, which is implemented by the government and through the local authorities. We don't have yet in Yemen that capacity, although with the new political system that we will have in Yemen, we need to work more on with local authorities at the district level and to implement more a policy of local development. But we think by all the assessment we have made, I mean external evaluators or other development actors, they admit that social fund has the best targeting policy in Yemen, and we set actually the standard for the cash for work in Yemen, and this is not my words, it's the words of the head of the Save of the Children in Sana'a, that social fund has set a standard for the implementation of the cash for work that us, other actors, we cannot go below it. And we help other actors in providing them with data and information. But again, we work closely with local authority, although we don't work through them, but we work closely with them. And beside that, as I said, beside that we have a set of data, we don't rely only on the data. We do field visits, we do participatory targeting within the communities, and we set the wages below the market rate slightly, although we don't have a market rate because the economy in rural Yemen is very poor. This is when it comes to targeting. For the other issue of sustainability, as I mentioned in the presentation, what we found that once we have an amount of transfer exceeding a certain level, we find that there is a multiplier effect. People start to invest. So for this program, we will in our future interventions, we will work in two modalities. One model is to engage in a longer term with communities, not only to provide them with cash for work, but also to encourage them to enter into economic opportunities. The other line is when we do the short term of interventions, we will have a higher level of transfer in order to induce the multiplier effects. Thank you.
Thank you. We have the question from the gentleman of Zambia about water scarcity and the possibility of desalination. Dr. Abdul Wahid, or
should I think? Please. Sorry, I think it's very clear when we consider agriculture to be using more than 75% of the water resources, and there is a loss of 40% because of bad management within this 75 or 90% even sometimes. So the question will be really how to lower down this loss from 40% to 0 to 10 to 50%. This is one, which is very critical. Desalination is one of the now there is a project funded by Saudi Arabia, I think is going to be implemented at Anan, but it could be one of the solutions for home use, never for agriculture. Thank you.
Dr. Andam, you have a question?
Yes, two questions. So quickly on how long it took. It took the team in Washington, University of Washington, working with us about 2 months to get to this point of building the platform. It still requires some, as I said, some local knowledge that will take about a month or two to develop. And in terms of the layers, there was a land use cover in there that includes the vegetation. To address your question. That's an important question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure to have you today. I was asked to announce that after this session, please to proceed to the plenary to ensure orderly seating for the inaugural session. Thank you very much, and really appreciate your time.